Check. Okay, thank you. Board members up front, please. Board members up front. Officers on the stage, board members up front.
all analog service will be terminated. Okay then. Guess we're gonna go digital. Well, my brother-in-law did it at 87.
Okay, 1 minute.
I'm gonna go sit down, Madam President.
I'm missing Bob.
I don't have anything to do tonight, so.
I saw Nancy, Maura, Karen.
Cheryl, Linda,
Yeah, Karen. Have you heard Karen?
Nancy, Bob, Mara.
Bob Burns up front, please. Bob Burns to the stage,
You want me
please.
to do that? I mean, you can do what you have to do.
Well, it's a minute. It's a minute till. So
I know.
need
Okay, let me think. Bob, we're Rashna.
Oh yeah. Karen.
We have not heard Karen Lemon. That's okay. What about Rashna Marsh?
She was in the lobby when I was out there with the food, so hopefully make it all right.
Okay. What about Bob Burns?
Bob's over here.
There you are. Okay. Thank you. I'm saving Madam President's voice. So, but now I have to give it back to her. So.
Okay. Are you ready, Linda?
With my own. Hey, Bob.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there's a chair by me.
okay,
Set
perfect.
device.
Yeah,
Devices need to stick together.
took forever to get checked out of the restroom.
Linda, I can't believe you guys made it.
Food was good.
I was expensive, yeah, and I wasn't too happy.
Really, what'd you have?
I had a grilled cheese sandwich. I asked for mushroom soup.
Oh.
What kind of soup do you have?
It was tomato bisque.
Oh, now wasn't
Okay.
that great, huh?
Are you ready?
That's too bad. Yeah, that's usually a combination.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the board meeting of the National Federation of the Blind of Nebraska.
Get closer to the mic and you won't have to talk as loud.
Okay.
Really close.
Really close. Okay, we are going to get started with our pledges. And I learned something today. I didn't realize that the flag, the American flag, should always be on the left side of the stage when you're facing it.
Yeah.
And the Nebraska flag on the right side. I didn't realize that. So when you stand up, the flag will be to your left. So we will do the Pledge of Allegiance first.
Or to our right, I guess.
To our left.
To our left.
Flag. So they go from left to right. Wait.
Oh,
Cheryl.
okay, behind Cheryl. Behind Cheryl, okay. All right. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Okay, now we
Now
will do
we
our.
turn to the right and
Actually, I don't know where our federation. Where's our federation flag?
is it right behind Linda, basically? Geraldine?
No, she said our federation flag. Yes. It's to our left.
They're together.
Oh. Oh, okay. So we're gonna do our federation pledge.
And the Federation flag is always lower than the American flag,
Of course.
as is the Nebraska flag. Just in case I knew everybody.
I pledge to participate actively in the efforts of
National Federation of the Blind
to achieve equality,
opportunity and security for the blind.
to support the policies and programs of the Federation,
Federation and to abide by its Constitution.
All right,
But wait,
perfect.
I'm confused.
I've known that pledge really well at times. And sometimes.
All right, now we're going to do our roll call. So I'm going to call up to the microphone our secretary, Linda Minting.
you're fine. My ACAS case loves you. Oh, and logo check.
Roll call and logo check. So the board members are, for just the board members, okay? So that's the only people I'm calling roll. And they must have a logo on them. So President Jamie Ritchie,
I am present and I'm wearing my who's it necklace. You can read that.
she's president, and she's wearing, I mean, she's present, and she's wearing her, well, that too. She's wearing her Who's It necklace. All right, first Vice President Christine Boone.
Present, and I'm wearing my name tag, which has our Federation logo.
Yes, that's what counts.
It sure does.
Counts.
And I honestly, the piece of jewelry I have is my old Security, Equality, and Opportunity blue and silver pin. Hello, VN, and welcome to the board meeting. And I'm so afraid of losing it, honestly, that I didn't want to bring it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Secretary, where am I? Second Vice President Bob Burns.
I have the same adornment as Chris, and I have an amazing Rolex watch that I didn't want to wear because I didn't want to lose it.
Nice.
Secretary Linda Mentink, I don't have anything wearable, never have. I'm going to try to remedy that at convention, but I will not use my name tag. Sitting at my place is my NFB 16-ounce tumbler or whatever it is that I bought from Michigan with our logo and Braille dots on it. Well, it doesn't have as many Braille dots as it used to have. So. Treasurer Cheryl Livingston.
I am here, and my only NFB adornment is my name tag.
It has our logo on it.
Okay.
It's a logo or
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
not
yeah.
logo?
We do have our, all of us are
We
wearing
need
our
to
logo.
sell
That's
some
fine.
NFB swag around here.
I know.
Yep. All right. Board member Nancy Kaufman.
Gray
You know, I had like
fleece
3 months
and
ago
battleship gray
NFB
polo.
and asked, so I wanted to get
Board member Geraldine Conruff.
answer, and I left a message.
Can you two?
My throwback red polo and my NFC or my Who's It hit.
Wow. Go
Yeah.
Geraldine.
Board member Karen Lemon.
I have my tent awning red t-shirt. I'm also wearing my name tag because we're supposed to.
Yes, you're right. 10 points.
Board member Maura Loberg.
Okay, I do have the name tag, but I'm not gonna count it.
Amen.
I have this.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, I have that too, but I. All right, board member Rachna Marsh.
We should. I mean, you can't see it.
Besides the name tag, I have one of those NFBN bags, the tote bags.
And board member Kimberly Sherbarth is absent.
Do you want to? I can.
What?
It's okay. Just stand there. Don't move. You're next. Or do you have to pull it up real quick? I do. Okay. Quick note, Kimberly Sherbarth had planned to join us, but she has pneumonia. So if she's listening in, we miss you, Kimberly. We hope you're getting better. And hopefully I'm not going to be joining you. Linda is going to be pulling up the minutes. We will next have the minutes, the reading of the minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes. So we will start with the January 11th board meeting, and then we had a quick special meeting on January 28th. So we will read those, both of those real quick. Okay. Go.
Almost, it'll take me longer to get to the next set of minutes than it will to read them in my Apex. So, okay, the NFBN Board of Directors met Saturday. Ooh, I don't even drink. Okay. The NFBN Board of Directors met Saturday, January 11th, 2025 in Lincoln. President Ritchie called the meeting to order at 9:00 a.m. Central Standard Time. All recited the Pledge of Allegiance and our NFB pledge. Members present were President Jamie Ritchie, First Vice President Christine Boone, Second Vice President Bob Burns, Secretary Linda Mentink, Treasurer Cheryl Livingston, and board members Nancy Kaufman, Geraldine Conriff, Karen Lemon, Maura Loberg on Zoom, Rachna Marsh, and Kimberly Sherbarth. Other members and guests present were Brad and Barbara Lose, Nancy Oltman, Jeremy Ritchie, Carlos Servan, and Sandy Wright in person, and Connie Daly, Ben Grelk, Lisa Grease, Lucas Grease, Robert Newman, Miguel Roca, and Ty Schaefer on Zoom. Approval of reports. Secretary Mentink read the October 28th, 2024 meeting minutes. Board member Sharbarth moved, and Second Vice President Burns seconded that they be approved as read. The motion carried. Secretary Mentink read the December 16th, 2024 meeting minutes. Board member Kaufman moved, and First Vice President Boone seconded that they be approved as read and sent to history@ne.nfb.org. The motion carried. Treasurer Livingston read the Treasurer's report for October 1 through December 31, 2024. Board member Conriff moved that we accept the Treasurer's report. Board member Sherbarth seconded, and the motion carried. Upon Second Vice President Bob Burns' recommendation, Board member Kaufman moved, and First Vice President Boone seconded that we liquidate the current scholarship fund account and deposit the money into Vanguard. The motion carried. Board member Kaufman moved, and Treasurer Livingston seconded that we close the raffle account and move funds into our general checking. The motion carried. President's Scoop. On December 17th, President Ritchie attended a Zoom meeting at about hotel contracts put on by Patty Chang. She and Jeremy attended the national board meeting the first weekend in December. It's very distracting when you two next to me talk. Where she got to know many people better and where lots of topics were discussed. Donations are way down, so our national office is tightening things up. We need people to fill out the monthly donated services forms because that gives us grants and things. The independence market is not online yet. They are selling D-canes from Omaha, but Dawn is no longer doing individual orders. We are struggling in PAC nationwide, either because people's cards expire and they forget to renew, or people sign up during our national convention and then fall off soon afterward. Ben is doing an amazing job with our website. Rosters must be sent to our president and secretary and will be due on January 30, April 30, July 30, and October 30. And just a little side note, I only received one roster, and that was from the at-large chapter. Presidents must also send their board member lists. Send it to president@ne.nfb.org and secretary@ne.nfb.org. President Ritchie is hoping to attend the Affiliate President's Seminar in Baltimore, February 1st and 2nd. She and Jeremy will attend the Leadership Seminar, March 5 through 9. Committees. Awards. Jeff Altman needs to step down. Jeremy Ritchie volunteered to take his place. Historians Committee. Chairman Barbara Lose thanked the committee members. The committee has been around for more than 2 years. She thanked those who have been sending approved reports and encouraged the rest to begin to do so. The link to our 2024 convention archive has been sent to Nicole Chrisis. The next committee meeting is April 10th at 4:00 p.m. Bell Committee. Lisa Grease is the committee chair. The job announcement for the Bell coordinator has been written and sent out by Kimberly Sherbarth. Shane Burrish has been added to the committee. We took a break from 10:30 to 10:50. Scholarship Committee. Chairman Bob Burns reported that he has had one inquiry and no submissions. The deadline is January 21st. Strategic Planning Committee. Chairman Bob Burns mentioned getting PSAs out. Either he or President Ritchie will go on RTBS and talk about our state convention. Board member Sherbarth is interested in serving on the Walk for Independence Committee. Old Business, Washington Seminar. President Ritchie, Jeremy Ritchie, and Karen Moritz are planning to go. Lisa Grace will be going to the Jernigan Institute the weekend of February 1 through 3 for a parents leadership seminar to help states revitalize parents groups, after which she will join our members for the rest of the Washington seminar. First Vice President Boone reported that the Nebraska Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired is again sponsoring the program, which takes students from Nebraska to DC the Saturday before Washington seminar starts. They will spend Saturday and Sunday traveling around DC, and Monday they will attend the trainings. 2025 State Convention, President Ritchie and First Vice President Boone gave lots of pertinent information. Board Member Levin asked about using our nonprofit status to pay for hotel rooms for state and national conventions. First Vice President Boone will research this. President Ritchie is working with Aaron Brandyberry to plan a bus tour for clients and non-clients of the commission to see the 3D PhotoWorks exhibits in museums in Hastings, Lincoln, and Omaha before our convention starts. She is also working with the commission to have a training or workshop on AI. New business, Museum of the Blind People's Movement. After discussion, Second Vice President Burns moved, and First Vice President Boone seconded that we pledge $10,000 over 5 years. The motion carried. Our 2026 convention will be at the Holiday Inn and Convention Center in Kearney, April 30 through May 3rd. The Nebraska Cane Walk will be April 20th. Mary Noel Chamberlain is once again requesting financial assistance. After discussion, First Vice President Boone moved, and Treasurer Livingston seconded that we contribute up to $500 and that we request to participate in the Nebraska Cane Walk as mentors, teachers, etc. The motion carried. We need to get an accessible prescription labels bill written and find someone to introduce it in the unicameral. First Vice President Boone will get another state's bill and draft something. We need 33 co-sponsors to pass it. Announcements. Carlos Servan mentioned that the commission is working with Senator Dorn to introduce a bill to create a support service provider program in Nebraska. Our governor wants to combine boards and commissions, but the Commission for the Blind is not among them. The open North Platte VR counselor position has been eliminated. Carlos appealed, but has not heard anything yet. Consumers should contact the governor's office and their senators. Barbara Lose announced that there is going to be a meeting of the stakeholders for the Nebraska Center for the Education of Children who are blind and visually impaired. Is that supposed to be or? Yes. Oh, oops. Okay, blind or, I'll fix it. Visually impaired on January 23rd. The state plan will be updated. We have always insisted that we have a representative whom we choose to be on that entity. They meet once a year. President Ritchie said that if anyone is interested in serving, please let us know. The mural project is still happening. Nebraska History is going to house the 3D mural. She continues to work with Christian Record Services, who had an article in the Lincoln Journal-Star about World Braille Day. Board Member Kaufman mentioned that Shane has decided to move back to the district, leaving a Braille instructor position open. It is urgent to get somebody in there by April 30th. Chapter division and group updates. Chairman Grease reported that the parents group has met a couple times. They meet the first Tuesday evening of the month at 8 o'clock on Zoom. Board Member Kaufman suggested that they get involved in the Nebraska Cane Walk, maybe by bringing their children. Greater at Large Chapter President Sherbarth reported that they have met once since our last meeting. They are not planning to sell snacks at state convention, but will make something useful and blindness related to sell. They meet the third Sunday evening of the month on Zoom. Board Member Kaufman reported that the Lincoln chapter hosted the walk at Holmes Lake in October, and they had a well-attended holiday party in December. Mark Coleman has been badgering the StarTran bus system, and Carlos is also on their advisory committee. They sold chocolates. They are sponsoring a statewide Braille Readers Are Leaders contest with prizes, which will end February 1st. They read at Barnes & Noble Story Hour for World Braille Day, and will try to do it again on Read Across America Day, which is March 2nd. They meet the third Saturday of the month at St. Mark's on the campus Episcopal Church and on Zoom. Omaha chapter president Burns reported that they had their rescheduled Christmas party January 4th. They will have their first meeting of the year January 18th at Swanson Library. Every quarter they try to have one meeting in person on the third Saturday of the month and the other two on the second Sunday on Zoom. Board Member Marsh is going to try to do the fundraiser again with the church's Share the Plate partner in September and October. Senior Division Secretary Mentink reported that they decided to go to a 2-hour meeting. They have been listening to the presidential releases for chapters, after which they discussed topics covered there. She encouraged leaders to post their meeting links in case others want to join in. Student Division President Grease reported that he sent over all the minutes of their meetings and some pictures from their walkathon to history@ne.nfb.org. They took part in the National Double Good fundraiser around Thanksgiving. They won, so he is going to donate some of the proceeds back to the student division. They got posted on the NAB's Now State Division Spotlight. They are 5 or 6 potential new, I did something wrong there. There are 5 or 6 potential new members and 5 people that they know of that they are trying to get to apply for a scholarship. He was invited to be on the Midwestern Student Seminar Planning Committee, and they are planning to send a few students there to attend it. 4 of the 7 people going to Washington Seminar through the commission are students that they know of. They meet the first Saturday of every month at 8:30 p.m. Central. Ben Grelk reported that the commission reached out to him about a student at UNL who is doing a creative project that involves a blind person. He wanted to make sure that he represents blind people in a respectful manner. 3 members went to talk with him. Jeremy Ritchie mentioned that he is willing to donate $300 for some meta glasses for the raffle or auction. Future meetings, Friday, March 28th during our state convention, Thursday, May 8th on Zoom, Saturday, August 2nd in Kearney, and Saturday, October 11th, possible retreat. Treasurer Livingston moved, and Board Member Sherbar seconded that we adjourn. The motion carried, and we adjourned at 1:02 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Linda Mentink, Secretary.
Motion to accept.
All righty, thank you, Linda. Bob moves to approve the minutes as read, and it was seconded by Christine. Is there any discussion? Can we take from non-board? We can, right?
If any board member.
Is there any board members first, I guess, yeah? No board questions? Okay. Dan, the microphone is with the board members. If somebody could hand it to Dan.
I have another one too, I feel. You got it? Let me get.
Linda, you were reading that and you had 3 he's in a row. And I didn't know who the he was you're talking about. He did something, he did something, and somebody else was a name, and then there was another he. And I don't know who the he was. You didn't say.
Oh, when she was talking about Lucas, I think. Yeah.
All Lucas.
It was all Lucas that was talking about. Okay. So because it was a pretty long report, maybe is what he's saying. Kind of break it up. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. Just the board votes for these, just as a reminder. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. Now here is the much quicker January 28th meeting.
I guess if the board wants me to, I can change those all those he's to Lucas. It seems a little wordy, but
No, we approve them as read. Sorry, guys. Too late.
or somebody else can take over this job.
No.
just saying.
It's great. They're awesome. Go.
Okay, the NFBN Board of Directors met via Zoom Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. President Ritchie called the meeting to order at 7:04 p.m. Central Standard Time. Members present were President Jamie Ritchie, First Vice President Christine Boone, Second Vice President Bob Burns, Secretary Linda Mentink, Treasurer Cheryl Livingston, and board members Nancy Kaufman, Geraldine Conriff, Karen Lemon, Lauren Loberg, Rachna Marsh, wowzers, and Kimberly Sherbarth. Regarding our driver reimbursement policy, Board Member Kaufman moved and Board Member Sherbarth seconded that we change the policy to reflect that we pay the state minimum rate. The motion carried. We discussed changing our original May meeting date. We decided on Tuesday, May 6th at 7:00 p.m. The board unanimously approved the following: NFB of Nebraska Accessibility Policy, NFB of Nebraska Policy Conflict of Interest, NFB of Nebraska Policy Legal Coordination, NFB of Nebraska Policy Records Retention, NFB of Nebraska Policy Whistleblower, and NFB of Nebraska Policy Youth Program Participant Protection. Board Member Kaufman moved. Board Member Lemon seconded that we adjourn. The motion carried, and we adjourned at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Respectfully submitted, Linda Mentink, Secretary.
Motion to approve.
Ooh.
Mara, and
All
Nancy in
right.
unison.
So approved, motion to approve by Bob, and it was seconded by Maura. Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. All right, next we're going to have a treasurer's report. Now, typically our treasurer's report, we run on a calendar year, and our treasurer's reports are quarterly. So it would go from January 1st to March 31st. However, this is only March, who knows? But it's not the 31st yet. So Treasurer Livingston is going to give us a report to date, but it won't be the complete report for this quarter. So, Cheryl?
Okay. Down at the end here. Oh, you want me to come up there?
Well, do you want? Yeah, it might be
No,
easy.
I can come up.
I was gonna say we could get you a mic, but it might be easier to come up here.
Okay, as Jamie has stated, the treasurer's reports are generally done every quarter, January 1st to March 31st, April 1st to June 30th, July 1st to September 30th, and then October 1st to December 31st. I'm just going to kind of give an abbreviated report tonight because we have made some changes. We have closed out our account with LPL Financial, which had the money that we had put away to help fund scholarships. We decided that it would be more advantageous for us to have that account in the Vanguard fund, so we transferred those funds into Vanguard. So our Vanguard funds are sitting around $196,000. We also closed out our raffle account. The state laws have changed regarding raffles, so we no longer need to have a separate account set up. We no longer need a license unless we're lucky enough to make $15,000 from a raffle. So we closed that account. We had closed our savings account last year, so now we have basically two accounts. We have our Vanguard account and we have our checking account. Our checking account is going to fluctuate a lot because we are now in state convention season and we have had a lot of money coming into and out of our bank accounts for registrations and so on, and money going out to pay for convention expenses. We've already paid like 90% of our hotel expense. And so we had to withdraw some money from our Vanguard account to help cover that until we could bring some more money in to cover the rest of the cost. And much of that's going to come from the commission once we get settled up with them. So I will have an accurate report of fund balances as of March 31st at our May meeting. If anyone wants to know the exact fund balances that we have, I don't have the computer with me right now, but I can look those up and give those to you if you would like. But I'm just going to kind of briefly go over our statement of activity from January 1st to March 26th. We are using QuickBooks now, and I am getting used to QuickBooks. I think it's going to be helpful to us. I'm still trying to get more used to it because the program does a lot of things that that I used to do in Excel, and I'm kind of one of these people that like to hang on to each little detail and not let something or someone else do it for me. So getting used to QuickBooks has been a little bit of an adventure, but I think in the end it'll work out fine. Just to kind of give a brief overview here of our revenue for from January 1 to March 26. We have had total revenue of $11,586.81. And that would include our registrations for convention, $7,255. We have other income for state conventions, such as sponsorships and so on, of $2,825. Membership dues of $403. And I think there's just some other general contributions that fall into a general category of $1,097.01. Our expenses for this period included our PAC plan for the affiliate and the students of $330. Cost of goods sold, that was $188.59, which is for the students to purchase some items that they're selling here at convention. Professional fees, $1,141.78, which includes drivers, mostly drivers. General supplies, which include PayPal fees of $836.18. A few other things, printing and publication, $75. That's probably Braille printing of board agendas. Travel, $4,664.95 for a total expenditures of $7,236.58. This is a little hard to read. The print isn't very good. Anyway, so our net revenue for this quarter, not counting everything that I've just talked about, is $4,348.51. That's, like I say, going to change because we're going to be paying more convention expenses and we're going to be bringing in some money for the convention. So that's going to be different by the time we come to the end of the month. So that's my report, Madam President, and if anyone has questions, I would be happy to try to answer them for you.
Okay. Move acceptance of the treasurer's report as given.
Oh, I left my paper. So it was moved to accept the treasurer's report by Christine Boone and seconded by Karen Lemon. All right. Any questions? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, we're going to have the presentation of the scholarship class. It'd probably be easiest if the scholarship people could just come up here to the front of the stage and we can give you a wireless mic. And I will turn it over to Bob Burns.
Okay. Okay, while the scholarship candidates are making their way up, I want to thank the scholarship committee, Shane Burrish, Karen Moritz, Nancy Oldman pinch hitting for Kimberly Sherbarth, and Ben Grelk from the students, and myself. Anyway, appreciate it. We're still working on meeting with the candidates, and we'll have a good decision tomorrow. Decide. I think Jamie sent out an email. I think it went to everybody, but basically $1,500 will be for the winner, the first place, and then $750 for the other two. So anyway, we'll be giving that out tomorrow night. Well, we'll be making the announcement. They'll get their checks on Sunday morning. Is everybody up here yet? Yep. Okay, so I'll introduce them one at a time. We had a slight name change that had to happen because Zayden and Caden rhymed, so we couldn't have that. So Zayden. Zayden Hawk is forever now known as Z-Hawk. So anyway, I'll introduce you one at a time, and then just come up and introduce yourself and say a little bit, about you, and then
You guys have
here you could come over here.
come up here, okay?
Just the other, yeah, okay.
You can come on.
Yeah, come run up behind us.
Okay. Alrighty.
Right here.
Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty. All right. Hello, everyone. I think it's safe to say the hawk has landed. I gotta give credit to Allie for that one. But my name is Zayden Hack, or Z-Hawk, as Bob christened me, and I'm currently attending the Nebraska Center for the Blind, and I should be graduating here in a few months, and then in the fall, I plan on attending the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with a major in software engineering. And I hope to go into the field of either IT or cybersecurity, and eventually, once I get more experience, go into the field of assistive technology to work on bettering our screen readers and braille displays.
Very nice. Okay. Then the next candidate is Caden Galvin. So Caden want to make your way over here and say a few words about yourself? And
My name is Caden Galvin, and I'm from Grand Island, and I plan on going to first CCC to get my gen eds done, then the Center for the Blind, and then I'm gonna go to UNL or UNK for psychology, minoring in teaching.
Very nice.
very nice. And then finally, we have Allie Holmberg is the third candidate, and
Here she comes.
Hello, my name is Allie Holmberg. I am from Alma. I am finishing my final year of high school in about 25 days. Yeah. I plan on majoring in illustration in college and hope to work in the animation industry.
okay, that's the 2025 scholarship class, and tomorrow night we'll find out who the big winner is and who drinks are on.
Yeah.
Wait a second, I like the sound of that. Well, they're not 21 yet.
Yeah, they're not 21.
That's true.
How expensive can they
Don't be promoting underage drinking now. Yeah. All right. Do we have a motion to continue the scholarship program for another year?
So moved.
Moved by Nancy, seconded by Geraldine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Awesome.
No.
Congratulations, and we will be excited to see what happens tomorrow. All right. All right, we got a couple more business items here. Next is our Zoom license. So for the past several years, we have purchased a Zoom license through the national office. Last year, we paid for the unsubsidized amount, so the full amount of the Zoom license. So do we want to continue our Zoom license for this year?
Moves that we pay the unsubsidized Zoom license.
Okay. So it was moved by Kaufman to pay the full amount for the Zoom license for this year, seconded by Treasurer Livingston. Any discussion?
For the record, Madam President, what would be the full amount now? I don't know, it's probably gone up since last time.
That's a good question. I think it was 200 last year. It's definitely a discount because of, we work, National works with all of the affiliates, so.
Sure, so the unsubsidized amount last year was 200?
I think it was 200. It might have been 199, but yeah, pretty close to
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Yep.
That's good.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, we do have one question in the audience, if somebody wants to get a mic.
Can you say your name?
Yeah, who, what's
Is
that?
that Leah?
Oh, Elijah.
Elijah, okay.
Okay. Do we have
Stand
someone?
up.
Huh? Who has the mic?
Paying more, then why don't? If like unsubsidized means you're paying more, then why don't you pay the subsidized if it's less?
Okay, that's a fair question. Okay, so the way this works is we are paying our national office. When I say national office, that's our headquarters in Baltimore, where the National Federation of the Blind is headquartered. So they have done a contract, of course, with Zoom to do these licenses. And there are a lot of affiliates within our organization that don't have a very big treasury, and they can't pay the full amount. And so the national office will subsidize that and give them a discount. Now, we are very fortunate here in Nebraska. A few years back, we got a very nice bequest. And we do pretty well with fundraising and things. So our treasury is such that we can afford to pay the full amount. And so we help out the national office by doing so.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But thank you for asking. That's a good question.
That
Yep.
was a good question. Thank
Yep.
you.
All right. Did we vote? No. Okay. Okay. All those in favor of continuing or to do the
Paying the
paying the
unsubsidized.
unsubsidized amount for the Zoom license, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Next, I should have been. Okay. Is there any other business to come before the board? That's the last item on my agenda, by the way. So if there's any other business. All right. Hearing
Then,
you.
Madam President, I move, I don't remove, not yet. I move that we adjourn this meeting,
Okay.
go have more fun,
Okay.
and do resolutions.
I'm in favor of fun.
So it was moved by Christine. It was seconded by Maura. I'm not going to call for the vote yet because I do want to clarify one thing that I forgot. Resolutions is directly after this meeting in this room, so stay here for resolutions. Resolutions are the policies of our program, the policies that we set for our affiliate. Those on the resolutions committee, you know who you are. I want you in the front row, please. There's not enough seats up front, so you will need to be in the front row. The board members currently are. So resolutions committee, come up front, please, when we adjourn. And we will find out what we have for resolutions this year. And then after resolutions, we can have some more fun with trivia. So
But resolutions are fun. So
they are fun because it's what we do in our organizations. It tells us what we want to work on for the next year. So okay. Oh, okay. Yes, we may have a 10-minute break. That way people can shuffle. Absolutely. So, but if you're going to use the restroom, it better be fast.
Uh-oh.
We did. We went over. Yep. That's how things happen. Okay. So all those in favor of adjourning this meeting?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We are adjourned. Thank you. I'm getting lightheaded.
What?
I'm getting lightheaded.
Well,
Thank you all for waiting. It's wonderful that we have this many people interested in resolutions, even when the chairperson is late. I am Barbara Lose, chairman of the Resolutions Committee. And first of all, I'd like to call the roll of the committee. I'm here and I'm sure I'm last. But anyway, Christine Boone.
Here.
Shane Burrish. Nancy Kaufman.
Here.
Ben Grelk. Leah Johnson. Karen Lemon. Karen Moritz. Nancy Oltman. Carlos Servan. All right, congratulations, everybody. Wow. I am very impressed. Okay, for those of you who are new, and as a reminder for those of us who aren't, what resolutions are the policies of our organization. So when we resolve to do something, that means that we are making it a priority for our organization. The form of a resolution is a little antiquated sounding, really, but we still use this form of writing resolutions. And what they are a very long sentence, not a legal one, but I mean a grammatical sentence that says, because of this, we use the word whereas, but it means because of this, because of this, because of this, and because of that. Then we say, now therefore be it resolved. But what that means is we want whoever to do something. So because of this and because of this and because of this, we want you to do that. So really, it is just a kind of a long used form for saying that to somebody. And when we do that, we then make it a priority for us to uphold our end and hold the people we're talking to accountable for their end. So it does a cool thing, being said in kind of an odd way. So we have received one resolution this year from our president, Jamie Ritchie. I think the voice thing must be contagious, goodness. Anyway, so we do have one, and so when we do resolutions, we give them a number, and because we only have one, that means this one gets to be number 01. So it will be, the, I need to get out of the committee and into the resolution itself. That's what I'm doing now. I really like hard copy, but I'm using this machine. So this one, goodness sakes. Thank you. Thank you, Lucas. You bailed me out there. Ty, I appreciate it, Ty. Okay, so this is, okay, the seniors are getting into the act. All right, this is Resolution 2025-01 regarding the immediate withdrawal from and dismissal of Texas versus Kennedy. Whereas Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 is a landmark civil rights provision for people with disabilities, protecting us from discrimination by federal agencies and recipients of federal funding in public education, work readiness programs, health care, elections, the court system, and more. And whereas 17 states' attorneys general have filed suit in Texas versus Kennedy, alleging that Section 504 is unconstitutional and should be entirely or partially enjoined, limiting it only to those programs, services, and activities directly funded by and through the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. And whereas those 17 states submitted a status report to the court on February 21st, 2025, stating in pertinent part, plaintiffs clarify that they have never moved and do not plan to move the court to declare or enjoin Section 504 as unconstitutional on its face. Plaintiffs have not sought and do not seek to enjoin the disbursement of funds from the department on the basis that the statute is unconstitutional. And whereas at the time of this resolution, plaintiffs have chosen not to amend pages 37 and 42 of their complaint, which directly contradict the previous paragraph by stating, count 3, Section 504 is unconstitutional, and demand for relief, D, declare Section 504, 29 U.S.C. Section 794 unconstitutional, E, issue permanent injunctive relief against the Department of Health and Human Services, enjoining them from enforcing Section 504. And whereas, when asked by members of the National Federation of the Blind, plaintiffs, including Nebraska's Attorney General's office, have repeatedly directed those members to the quoted language from the status report without ever addressing the language in the actual complaint. And whereas, if plaintiffs' demand is granted, it will have a devastating impact on blind Americans' rights to effective communication and reasonable accommodation in connection with government programs, services, and activities, including but not limited to education, employment, housing, health care, and other forms of civil life. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Nebraska in convention assembled this blank day of March 2025 in the city of Omaha, Nebraska, that this organization immediately call upon Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers to withdraw his name from Texas versus Kennedy because of the far-reaching and harmful effects the lawsuit could have on Section 504 and the disabled Americans generally. And be it further resolved that this organization call for the immediate dismissal of Texas versus Kennedy in order to protect blind people and all other Americans with disabilities by preserving the full force and effect of Section 504. So that is the resolution. And Madam President, do you need this mic here? Okay.
So this resolution was provided to us through the national office. They are urging those 17 states, of course, to pull out from, or to get our Attorney General to pull out. As Gary had talked about earlier, Missouri recently passed this resolution, and so I'm hoping that we will do the same. It does affect us in several different instances. It is for federal funded programs and access to materials by the disabled through those funded programs. So it'll definitely have very bad consequences against us and especially our children as well. So,
Madam President, I want to add a little clarity to that so people know what that really means,
okay, do you want everybody?
if I can.
How does that work?
So, hello.
Do you want? I actually, technically, I should.
Okay.
I should, yeah,
Okay. So
I don't have.
generally what we do is ask if there's anybody opposed to the resolution, but I'm certainly interested in what you have to say about the clarification. So go ahead, Christine. The microphone is right here.
Yeah, the next week's
So, but this one's right here if you want it.
All right, if you don't
There-
mind if I,
Of course
if
not.
I share it, okay.
I'm not.
All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, I just wanted to clarify basically for the audience, when we talk about it would endanger funding for federal programs, and that would impact us and our children. Okay, so for example, every school in the country, almost every school in the country receives federal funding, because there's funding right now from the federal government that supports education in the public schools. Private schools really don't see any. So that's why if you have a child who goes to private school, even though he may or she may qualify for an IEP, a lot of times the private school will not be able to make that happen. So consequently, when I was chairman of the board of our private school in Beatrice, we had a memorandum of understanding with Beatrice Public Schools. So they supported us. So our 5 kids who had IEPs and our 130 child student body got support. But so we accessed our federal funding that way. But as it is now, let's say you're going to college, and your college or university, unless you go to Hillsdale College in Michigan, but every other college in the country gets federal funding. And so you are entitled to have support from anybody here get support from the Disabled Student Services Office? No one? Okay, thank you. Your college or university could say, sorry, we don't have any money and we can't give you support. Can't give you recorded books. We can't give you Braille. And that's what this resolution is saying. If they declare Section 504 unconstitutional, then colleges and universities, employers that are federal employers, so my daughter works for the Nature Conservancy. Even that is a federally funded agency. If she requested family leave, which she did, especially because of her child's disabilities, they wouldn't have to honor that. So same thing with blindness. So that's what that means. And I just wanted people to understand what that meant.
So Chris, does that not, I'm sorry, this is 11. Does that not?
Hello. You need to get to a mic, Karen, or get a mic to you, or however that works out. Somebody has it.
But do you ask for questions first, or do you ask for? Yeah, it should be right there on the table somewhere, guys.
But we should make a motion about the resolution, really.
Okay. Okay.
I'm here. Is that Jeremy? Yes. It's Karen, yeah, thank you. Okay.
Here we go. I just wondered if that, the way you explained it, does that also consider public schools in K-12?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. So thank you. All right, so usually what we do is if there's anybody opposed to the resolution, we could hear one person like that. If there is, if there isn't, we'll move on. I don't hear anybody who is, so
I have a point of order.
What is the point of,
Go ahead,
what?
Madam Chair.
Okay. I'm a bit unorthodox, always have been, so anyway, whatever. So is there a motion to move the resolution to go to the floor of the convention? We don't, as a resolutions committee, pass the resolution or have it fail. What we do here is let it go to if we vote in favor, that means that we are in favor of having it go to the floor for everybody to talk about. And I hope people will talk about it this weekend. It's really important that we do our best to understand our policies, and sometimes the lofty language and all that can be a little off-putting, but we really do need to talk about it. I did want to make the point before that, though, that in talking with our Attorney General's office, I know that probably, I hope a lot of people have done so, because we've certainly had this issue out and around for a while. Brad and I have talked with someone named Sheila in the human, now I can't think of, human something arm of the, not resources, but no, it was in the Attorney General's office, and also the Director of Communications. We didn't talk directly to him. I have listened to, and I even brought it with me in case people wanted to hear any of it, the Appropriations Committee where this was talked about, and Attorney General Hilgers says he is not opposed to 504, that he would not be interested in having it be eliminated. He and some of the other attorneys general are concerned about specific regulations. We think that those, whatever they are, could be taken care of without threatening somebody to do away with the whole thing and throw out the baby with the bathwater. But anyway, so we have done that. I know that there are times when people think of the Federation as an entity that just, goes around kind of lambasting people and, giving them their comeuppance and stuff like that. What we do when we can is we negotiate with people. We talk to them about who we are, why we believe what we believe, and we try to convince them to do what is best for blind people. If that doesn't happen right away, which it hasn't with this situation, this case has been around a while. It's in a stay right now, which, if I understand correctly, and I'm not a lawyer, I have one beside me up here, so she'll correct me if I'm wrong. But that means that nothing really is happening right now as far as moving it forward. Once the complaint has been filed, that doesn't mean that something is going to happen right away either. And there is more than one way to deal with it. One of them is on its face, meaning the whole thing in an all or nothing sort of way. And the other way it can be dealt with is by application. And that means portions of it, which is what they're really working on now. And if that is the case, we still wonder, which is why we have this resolution, why don't they pull away from that then? So that is some background on what we have been doing. We haven't been silently standing by waiting for something to happen or hoping something doesn't. We've been working on it, and this is where we are right now. Okay, Karen Lemon has moved, and Karen Moritz. I knew I'd get the Karens mixed up. Sorry. So the Karens. Karen Moritz moved and Karen Lemon seconded. I knew I heard them both in some capacity or another. Anyway, that we pass this resolution to the floor of the convention. And the only folks who are voting tonight on this are the committee members. So everybody else, I know you feel strongly, I hope you do. But right now, I just want to hear from the committee. Is there any discussion before we vote? Okay.
I'm sorry. Fine. Okay. Madam Chair, could you read the last? I think are there two be it resolveds? Mm-hmm. Could you read those, please, again? I'll put this down for you.
Well, I'm not that short.
Oh,
I'm close, but I am shrinking, but haven't got that far down to the floor yet. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, let's see. Be it resolved. And I'm going to skip all the whatever. I'm just going to say be it resolved because we know who it's by and where it is. That this organization immediately call upon Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers to withdraw his name from Texas versus Kennedy because of the far-reaching and harmful effects the lawsuit could have on Section 504 and the lives of blind and other disabled Americans generally, and be it further resolved that this organization call for the immediate dismissal of Texas versus Kennedy in order to protect blind people and all other Americans with disabilities by preserving the full force and effect of Section 504.
Okay. So the first whereas is awesome. I love it. It's great. Calling for the immediate dismissal of the case, if we wanted to do that, the way this is the wrong form. I mean, when you say you call for the immediate dismissal, that means you're asking the judge to dismiss the case. And doing that in a resolution has no effect, except, in my humble opinion, to make us appear like we don't know how to do these things right, which I know we do. So if we want the case to be dismissed, then we file an amicus brief on behalf of the defendants. And that's what we do. So I would like to ask that the resolution be forwarded to the floor without the second resolve. You can vote against me, but that's my opinion.
Okay, Madam President wants to comment on that.
Oh, sorry. Which way is better? What's that?
We're not telling the judge.
Legally, I'm sure Chris definitely knows what she's talking about, but I just wanted to say that that this was written by the legal minds in Baltimore, and so I would think that they would know what they're talking about. I am not comfortable with removing that if we're going to pass this resolution. Oh, Barbara Lewis is talking. Okay. So I'm not comfortable as the proponent or whatever as to removing that because it was provided to us in that form. Gary, are you still in the room?
I am.
And did you make any changes in Missouri?
No, it was very clear to us that what the second
you have a microphone?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Should be there. It's there on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. It is very clear to us that what the second resolve says is that the Attorney General should get out of this, that there should be no part of it, and that the Attorney Generals, all of them together, should dismiss the case or pull it from the court's consideration.
Then the word
That-
is withdraw, not dismiss. I'm sorry, guys. I know what I'm talking about here.
I think it's perfectly clear. And I think that the people who consider it are not going to trip over that word.
They will.
And this is Karen Moritz's time. All right, the Karen's got the mic. Okay, this is Karen Moritz. One thing I think that we haven't really pointed out with regarding this resolution, because I speak for it as well, is that it's not just about education, it's also about rehab services. When I was a rehab counselor, every single time I took an application, I had to say, according to section 504, there is no discrimination in who we accept in rehab, in our rehab programs either. And so it's not just about our education, it's about our education as we go through school, it's about our rehab services, it's about anything that we get that has any federal funding in it. And I think that even though it may not be legally precise, I think since the legal Eagles in Baltimore crafted it, I think partly what they're trying to say is let's not pick 504 apart. We need to maintain the entire section as it is. So let's just dismiss this whole, because unfortunately they're going to just say, oh, we'll see, well, they didn't have that in there. We'll just pick it. We'll take this out and we'll take this out. And we'll leave this in here. And it was very carefully crafted when it was written in the first place. So I think this is our way of saying, we really want to maintain Section 504 in its entirety the way it is now. So I think by keeping that second whereas in there, maybe it's not legally as precise as it could be, but I think what it's saying is we want to keep the act in its entirety.
That's not at all what that says.
Well, but I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know that. I know you are, Chris. I know.
No, I'm saying I'm hugely in favor of this resolution. I think it's extremely powerful. And you're without a mic.
Yeah. Well, here.
Okay. I think that what the proponent has asked for is that we leave it alone. And I know that when we have been talking with the Attorney General's office here, they haven't expected us to be, lawyerly correct or whatever. What they want is for us to express ourselves in the way that we're thinking, and I think that that what this does, when you were talking about the difference between our calling upon somebody to do whatever, or whatever the other word was, I think they're similar enough in terms of, grammarians and other people who talk about language in other ways than lawyers do, that we're probably on solid ground with who we are.
I think that lawyer or not, lawyerly, grammatically correct or not, we do need to send the message that we are not backing down.
Yes, exactly.
That's right, and we do that far better without adding something that is ridiculous. Hello.
Remember, guys, you need to be called upon by
Okay.
person.
Sorry. Like I said, I have not been very
I'm not saying anything,
organized
Madam
in this thing. Okay. I think we have the rest of the weekend to deal with the ins and outs of how we say it, but I do want us to remember the last point that Karen Moritz made about the whole thing being in there, and that is the crux of that. The other part is, maybe one way or another, but the main thing is that it does say that part that we do need to have in there. So anyway, I think I'm going to, at this point, okay.
Is there a way to get any clarity about the second clause? I don't, is this coming before the assembly tomorrow or Sunday?
Tomorrow, if time permits, and otherwise Sunday is what the deal
is there
is.
a way to get some clarity legally? I mean, I got no clue. I mean, I'm a pastor. I don't know nothing.
Well,
so is there a way for us to get clarity if that's...
I think, the thing that our national representative said about, the fact that we have been convincing attorneys general with this particular language for all this time, in other states and that kind of thing. And we haven't had a history lately of revising resolutions. We expect them to come to us in final form. And so I am prepared to have us vote it up or down as it is, because once you start dealing with rewriting, and believe me, we used to stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning getting into discussions about specific words, specific phrases, and
Madam
it doesn't
President.
usually end up making that much difference.
Madam Chair, I guess I should
Yes.
say. I guess what I would say is I want to respect Tristine's expertise.
I
She has
do.
but we do have a motion on the floor, and actually
We
the
do.
motion on the floor was to send the resolution as
To the
it is
floor.
written to the floor.
Yes.
So I call the question.
Okay. The question has been called. And again, I remind you that only the committee votes tonight. So all on the committee in favor of passing the resolution to the floor of the convention, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Thank you very much. This is the only resolution that has come to us. So this meeting is adjourned.
Right.